Set in their backyard. Let's see how this one unfolds. First serve is on the paddle of Thomas Wilson. Beautiful play from Christian Alshon, pulling Ben out wide, opening up the court, finishing down the line, and that was one of the keys Zane talked about on the podcast, was working Ben on the angles.
And what's really going to be interesting now is with Collin having that new paddle and kind of have a lot more pop to it, do you attack him in hopes that his resets that are usually so amazing, maybe one of them flies off a little bit more, that you can finally put one away?
That's a good point.
0-1-2.
And then obviously Collin missing that drop. The comfort level with this paddle, is it there yet?
2 straight gold medal finishes for Christian Alshon in men's doubles with different partners.
Second serve.
One in Minnesota with Wilson, did Alshon, and in Austin with Zane Navratil. From the floor, Thomas Wilson keeps his team alive. Christian Alshon polishes off the point.
A great cover by Christian Alshon
2-0-2.
and Thomas Wilson. There's those good vibes.
Wide for Wilson. Have to correct myself. It was Matt Wright and Andre Diaski that claimed gold in Austin, but Alshon made 2 straight finals appearances.
0-2-1. Second serve. 0-2-2.
Big play again from Christian Alshon. No points for the Johns brothers.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be really interesting to see Christian Alshon attacking Collin Johns if he can keep that ball down.
Wide, and a 3-0 lead for Wilson and Alshon. Here's the career record for these two. A new partnership. Perfect 7-0 though between Wilson and Alshon. Oh! Beautiful play from Christian Alshon. Takes the Burt.
Yeah, great move by Christian Alshon. And there, that's confidence and the ability and trust to allow Thomas Wilson to let him do it.
Timeout, receiving team.
19 losses, a 90% win percentage. Not too shabby. That's the context of how big this upset would be if Wilson and Alshon could pull it off.
Second serve.
Yeah, Christian with that backhand flick, electing to go at Ben Johns. Kind of surprised he didn't go for right at the chest to Collin on that one.
This combination of teams have never matched up before, obviously with the new partnership of Wilson and Alshon.
And there from Collin Johns, you get that extra pop from the paddle that we talked about, able to win the exchange.
A
little bit of talking from Ben Johns to Collin. A little strategy.
Christian Alshon all over the Ernie finish.
Right now you can kind of see Ben Johns and Collin move the ball. They're shrinking the court on Thomas, but they're also just trying to do a couple things, move the ball around certain spots to see what these two are going to do.
Oh my, too good from Christian Alshon.
Five, 1-1.
Monstrous performance from Christian Alshon, locked in.
Yeah, he really is, and there's that confidence again that we talked about, the ability to just feel comfortable to come in and just attack, and has no fear right now on the court, no hesitation, which is a very dangerous combination.
6-1-2.
Christian Alshon gets another with the inside-out roll. 7-1.
7-1-2.
On a 2.
And right now, Michelle, you're going to start seeing Ben Johns. Yes, in this game, some of the great teams like these two, they have to figure out other teams. And so they're going to move the ball around. And I anticipate some adjustments being made from Ben and Collin. But maybe one of those is Ben taking over a little bit more.
So as part of the strategy, Zane Navratil shared openly on his podcast last week, pulling Ben out wide on the dink and then attacking Collin was a big recipe for them. Ernie pressure from Thomas Wilson.
Yeah, and the Ernie can be used not only to execute the Ernie, but just to apply pressure to the person in front of you, just to make them think about you a little bit.
Good pressure from Ben Johns, and another point.
Yeah, you can definitely see that Thomas Wilson and Christian Alshon are trying to get Ben out of the way somewhere so that they expose Collin Johns in the corner and then can attack him, just like you said about the podcast, Michelle.
The Pickle Pod, full of great insight. Thanks to Zane for sharing. We appreciate the insight. Also said you got to create some chaos. Always a recipe against these guys. Aggressive dinking from Thomas Wilson to set up the side out.
Yeah, and at this point, we've talked about what you do against the Johns brothers, but what should the Johns brothers do against Thomas Wilson and Christian Alshon? And we will see.
What would your answer be to that?
And right now, it's going to be something, because right now, Christian Alshon is moving all over the court. He's looking for Ernie's, he's looking for birds. And so I think keeping him home with some middle dinks until something else opens up. But I mean, they're playing solid right now. And moving that ball around to the middle until you get something that you can finally get your hands on to go ahead and attack and trust your hands, because it is Ben Johns.
Wow.
I didn't see it. No
Christian
calls.
Alshon looking for clarification. I think that ball was pretty clear in, and a beautiful backhand roll.
Second serve.
And Collin John's showing some frustration there. And again, having a new paddle does, even though it's an amazing paddle, still takes time to groove that in.
Oh my, it's in.
And there's the arms up in the air of Collin Johns. There's reaction.
It's usually the response we see from let cords, not a shot like that.
And a great point from all four players, moving the ball around, great patience. Usually when you get into that dinking game, Collin Johns has called it a very slow death to the opponents, but they're able to come out on top with that one, attacking Ben Johns on the backhand side.
Wow, perfect setup from Christian Alshon.
Timeout receiver.
A very dangerous duo right now, Christian Alshon and Thomas Wilson.
And the celebration from Thomas Wilson, a delayed fist bump. Collin Johns is frustrated.
The official ball of the PPA Tour.
Oh, in trouble. Still found a way to get a game point.
Yeah, great digs, great defense. Christian Alshon able to get a couple pickups, force Ben to try to come up with an impossible shot game.
Second serve.
One more service try to close out game one.
And they're definitely going to look to try to attack Collin Johns here.
10-5-2. Side out.
Collin had some things to say to that comment there, Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice little
5,
backhand
10,
roll,
1.
kicked up a little bit.
Wow. Oh, my. You have got to be kidding me. Christian Alshon. How did he defend this overhead? I have no idea. That is
5, 10,
insane.
2.
Oh, no, a gimme for Wilson. Fumbled it.
And Thomas Wilson had a setup and just couldn't finish with that forehand. That's, his eyes were so
6,
big.
10, 2.
Yeah, wind could have also been a factor there, too. Something to keep in mind.
Side out.
And splitting the difference there. Collin
point.
Johns leaning left, Ben leaning left,
10,
and
6,
shooting
1.
the gap.
Another game point for Wilson and Alshon. Alshon was ahead of the play, but Ben Johns does one better on the ATP.
That's right, Ben anticipated getting
10,
dinked
6,
out
2.
to the outside. He's been seeing it all game so far.
Game point number 3.
Side out.
No, a missed third. They'll have to wait. And the Johns brothers, they can creep back in an instant.
6, 10,
4-point
1.
hole. Oh,
Second serve.
just barely missed. Danced on the tape. Collin John's size.
6, 10, 2. Point.
And Johns gets another.
Yeah, Collin all over that one, ready to go ahead and fire back. A little extra
7, 10,
firepower
2.
this time. Ben able to finish it.
Oops, that is going to send Collin Johns over the edge.
And Collin just giving him a thumbs up.
And here's a good look at the proud wife of Thomas Wilson, baby Collin, newly adopted, amazing family. Clean winner for Christian Alshon, 4 game points to match that performance here in North Carolina. I mean, Christian Alshon is just insane.
He's on a different level right now.
0, 0, 1. Second serve.
But again, and I've said it already before at the beginning of the match, the confidence of Christian Alshon has been growing lately with every win that he's getting, and
0, 0, 2.
no fear right now, no hesitation.
Point.
First point in game 2 goes to Wilson and Alshon.
1, 0, 2. Side out.
Thomas Wilson apologizing to his partner Alshon, saying that drive was too high, but a lot of drives, third shot drives especially,
0,
on
1,
the side
1.
of Alshon and Wilson, something we saw a lot of with Zane in Austin as well. Tough bounce off the tape.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Ben and Collin just try to grind these two out as much as possible, and that's going to be the main adjustment here in game two for them. Try to keep them at bay, reset versus maybe even get into some counter firefights.
There's the counterattack from Collin Johns on the right.
Yeah, and Collin Johns able to go ahead and get on top of that ball and just push down. And Thomas Wilson just couldn't do anything about it.
Oh, no.
Second serve.
Now that
He
ball.
got him. He hit him in the knee. Right to the kneecap.
2-1-2.
Ben Johns being a good sport about it.
He just couldn't get out of the way.
No,
You deserve it. You deserve it.
Thomas saying you're a lucky duck that one caught the let cord, but conceding, saying you did deserve it because I did just wreck your kneecap with an overhead, an errant overhead just a moment ago.
Sign up. One, 3-1.
All right, Christian ready to lock back in. Couple crazy points.
Second serve.
And now it's Ben Johns finding the middle.
1-3-2. Sign up.
Quick sign out for the Johns brothers, who seem to be back.
Yeah, and one of the
Control.
things, one of the things we see Ben Johns do
3-1-1.
on a regular basis is control the kitchen line very well. He is getting moved around a lot more, but you know the level that Thomas Wilson and Christian Alshon came out with, even in game one so far, is just that's a whole nother level that they haven't been on before. We don't think so. It's really incredible and probably really hard to sustain.
Another curious choice for Thomas Wilson, taking ownership.
Team 5-1-1.
And a 5-1 lead to the Johns 3.
5-1-1. Point.
And there it is again, Christian Alshon trying to speed up, trying to go very quickly, and Ben Johns having none of it. He's starting to pinch over and shrink the court, not allowing Christian Alshon to get away on the line.
Well, that's one of the keys, right? You have to keep Ben honest on his side to try and keep him over there on the left so he can't pinch and crash the middle. Easier said than done.
Of course.
6-1-2.
And now they're even worried about keeping Christian at home and keeping him pinched in the corner as well now. So
You go.
He's just so athletic. Interesting choice by Wilson to go over to the left after Alshon took a couple overheads.
Yeah, definitely made a move, made a switch, straddled the kitchen.
It's like, hey, you're on the right. Hey, excuse me, move over a little bit. You're on the right. Thank you.
Out. Second serve.
And Collin letting Ben know that that was going to go long just a bit.
1-6-2. Point. Two, 6-2.
And Christian Alshon trying to cradle that ball over, kind of manipulate a little bit instead of going back to Collin Johns, and got a little too crafty.
6-2-1. Point. Seven, 2-1. Point.
Cleaned up by Collin Johns, 8-2.
8-2-1. Point. Timeout
Wind
receiving
is
team.
on her face, honestly, from watching these pickleball matches. She's got some rosy cheeks going on. Maybe we can get a view over at their bench
Time in.
later on
9-2-1.
to show it.
Second serve. 9-2-2. Point.
Yeah, and right now being down, sometimes you try to do a
Game
little
point.
too much, trying to have that sense of urgency to get some points.
10-2-2.
Game point for the Johns brothers, looking to force a third.
Point game.
And
switch
they
in.
will. Game 3 is upon us. What will give in this one?
When the world sleeps, greatness rises. Training rigorously and pushing boundaries. The next level isn't just handed to you, it's earned. Go next level with 6-0 Pickleball.
Ball game, so very interesting, but yeah, kind
New
of nice. I
ball,
think
game
Ben
three,
calls me
time
Mr.
in.
Pickleball. I know that.
0-0-2.
So,
Christian Alshon creates the controlled chaos first, gets the side out early in game 3.
that's right, and just when you think that like
1-0-2.
Ben Johns and Collin Johns are holding all the cards, you know, it's really interesting to watch Christian Alshon just go ahead and be athletic and win the exchange.
Sign up.
And a quick thanks to our referee crew for this one. Haven't mentioned them yet. Alan Roman, Norm Clinksales, and Jim
0-1-1.
Price.
Yeah, once again, it's just the back and forth, and these are going to be grinded out points, which obviously are going to favor the Johns brothers in this game 3.
You go. No.
Point.
Yeah, let's go. Come on.
2-1-1. Point.
Collin Johns attacks Christian Alshon
Timeout,
down the
receiving
line.
team 3-1-1.
And it's windy.
3-1-1. Point. Four, 1-1. Second serve.
And Christian trying to get fired up after winning that exchange.
4-1-2.
The Johns brothers looking in control here in game 3 early on.
I know.
And now Thomas Wilson finding the middle.
Look at that. Got a medal in the house. So along with these pros, we also have the
1-4-1.
amateur events going on these surrounding courts. So much fun across the board.
Second
Big
serve.
finishing touch for Collin Johns. What's changed to put the Johns brothers back in the control seat?
Well, once again, just like they did in
1-4-2.
game 2, here in game 3, they are pressing. They are the ones initiating, and the counters are much cleaner than game 1 as well. So controlling that kitchen line and the execution, even in the wind, all in favor of the Johns brothers.
4-1-1. Yeah. Whoa. Point.
Ooh, Ben getting chirpy, saying challenge it, please. Lose that timeout.
5-1-1.
I love it. Oh,
Second serve.
the bear has been poked on the other side.
That's right. Christian known to get fired up and
5-1-2.
really let you know.
Point. Timeout
Oh,
for
no.
change. 6-1-2.
And Christian Alshon probably going to walk to the bench after that.
He is, indeed.
From the world's most iconic tennis arenas to the glint of an Olympic gold medal, a new court beckons, a new challenge arises. Jack Sock has conquered tennis. Now, pickleball's next. Mastery, precision, passion, that's what champions are made of. And when it comes to pickleball, there's only one company they turn to. Jack Sock's legacy continues with the #1 brand in pickleball. Selkirk Sport. We are pickleball.
A 2.
Point.
Ben Johns takes over.
Yeah, he's just going to keep controlling the line, moving over, shifting,
7-1-2.
and finding the gaps until he gets what he wants during the exchange.
Point.
And now Ben John's going right at the body with that backhand of Thomas Wilson. And the Johns brothers in
8-1-2.
complete control.
Point.
And now, once again, that sense of urgency when you're down to do something, make something happen. And Thomas Wilson overshoots that one.
9-1-2. Right up.
It's pretty good. Christian Alshon. Decent.
Yeah.
Say that sarcastically, of course.
1-9-1. Point.
And honestly, probably one of the first balls that Ben has missed most of this game at all. This has been a very clean game from Collin Johns and Ben Johns. And all those shots that were dropping perfectly in game one for Alshon and Wilson are all just a little higher and attackable. And Christian Alshon electing not to try to drop that one, but going ahead and finishing at the feet of Collin Johns. We had a rare sighting there of Collin Johns on the left.
The crowd loves it. They've been here since 10 a.m. in Cary, North Carolina. They've stayed true to the end.
Second serve. Nine, 3-2.
And there's another net cord for Christian Alshon. And
the reactions just, they never get old. Can we just zoom in on his face after this? Like a kid that just got his lunch stolen at school. My goodness. And a stare down from Ben Johns. Spotted the opening.
3-9-2.
Oh, it's on now.
Line up. Nine, 3-1. Second serve.
It's interesting to see Christian Alshon and Thomas Wilson kind of leave and abandon their game plan from game one. And although it didn't work in game two, really just leaving it alone and trying to just go hands here in game three. And Ben taking about 98% of the court.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Three, 9-1.
Wilson and Alshon still alive.
4-9-1.
You have to create some magic to close a 5-point gap on this team. Oh. Or let corridor two.
Second serve.
Collin Johns signaling that second let cord is well wide.
Yeah, and Christian had a great winner if that thing didn't touch the top of the net. So really unfortunate for him
4-9-2.
after a great ATP block.
Missed third into the net. These drops seem to be challenging in the wind.
9-4-1. Point. Match point.
Match point for Ben and Collin.
10-4-1.
And a smile with it.
Second serve.
Alshon wants more.
Match point.
This is the most engagement we've seen out of Ben Johns in a while.
Yeah, he's having some fun with it. But, you know, you can tell with the wind pushing, it's
10-4-2.
really difficult for Wilson and Alshon to have a deep return, which is allowing Ben to crash.
Match point 2.
Point game match.
Ben Johns will close it, handcuffing Thomas Wilson. And through to the semis are Ben and Collin Johns, unscathed for now.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we were hanging on to our seats throughout this one. It went up and down and back and forth, and somehow you guys are here with me. What were you thinking throughout and what was working?
Yeah, there were a lot of ebbs and flows. I don't think that first game could have gone much worse for us. I mean, it felt like we got every bad break in the book, and they came out firing. So, you know, it's not always perfect in the first game, but it's a best of 3 for a reason. So you just try to regroup, and I think we did well in games 2 and 3.
Well, for one chaotic, crazy second, Collin ended up on the left, which we never see, and you guys won the point. What did that feel like? Weird?
It was definitely weird. I saw the ball coming at me, and I took a wild swing, and something good happened. I don't really remember.
Collin, and we talk a lot about the stuff that happens off the court. You do a lot of studying. How much are you spending on watching video and studying other pros?
Certainly it's something that's good to look at. Fortunately, we play the same players over and over, and there's a lot of video footage available. So depending on what you want to look at, you have a lot available. So it's definitely something I think helps us as a team.
Well, through to the semifinals, boys. Congratulations. Mish?